Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena action. At the end of my last run out, I was at a heartbreaking 4,995 gold. Trying to make it above 5,000. Gonna do it with Rogue. I could have picked Mage, but I didn't wanna. Alright, well, we'll start this off with the Twilight Drake. I do think this is a strong card. Crazed Alchemist and Arcane Golem are fine, but Twilight Drake can sometimes just be so strong on turn 4, it's crazy, so we'll grab it here. And I'll take the 2-drop over the Booty Bay Bodyguard. I don't like that Taunter very much. Here's an interesting choice. Blade Flurry can sometimes be a really good out. It's the only mass removal rogues have, apart from Fan of Knives. But the problem with Blade Flurry is that sometimes it's just a bad Fan of Knives. So I don't know if I want it here. I could take Mana Wraith. That can sometimes be fun. Not a big fan of Wild Pyromancer. Well, we'll try Blade Flurry. I don't play with that card much, so we'll do it for education. Sap is definitely a fine card. It's really good against Ironbark Protectors and other big things, but I'm not going to pass on a chance to grab Flesh-Eating Ghoul. It's such a good 3-drop. Okay, here I could take the Worgen Infiltrator. I think it's fine, but I'm not going to pass on a second Sap. That would just be tempting fate too much. Okay, the Assassin's Blade, nice to have one of those. The other two things were okay, but not that great. Defender of Argus is super duper-tacular. We'll grab that happily. And here, I'm not going to pass on Boulder Fist Ogre. I don't want to go crazy aggro or anything with the Leper Gnome. Boulder Fist Ogres win games. Now, Conceal I have played with and actually been really happy with, even without a Gadgetzan Auctioneer to cause it to draw a card. This is okay. It's kind of like a 1 mana, 2 damage, as long as you have your dagger out, and sometimes you can play it on turn 1. But I will take the Conceal. I think it's been good enough that it's worth grabbing here. Okay, gonna take one of my favorite cards, Sea Giant. Awesome, awesome, awesome card. Ooh, boy. Tough call here. So, curve reasons would say I should take the Ghoul, because I've got 2 4-drops and 1 3-drop. However, the Defender of Argus isn't exactly a 4-drop. It's more situational. Assassinate is nice to have as an out sometimes, but you know, honestly, it's not my favorite removal spell, and I'd rather just have a Chillwind Yeti, so I'm going to take it. Going to trust my instincts. Okay, now this is usually going to be a 3-3 for 3 with Taunt. Do I take it or do I take another 2-drop? Well, I actually only have the 1 2-drop, the Defy String Leader, so I think it's important to have some 2-drops. We'll take one here over the Taunter there. Fan of Knives is very good. I'll be happy to play it. So is Darkscale Healer, but I'm not going to pass on Deadly Poison. It works really well with Blade Flurry, and it's just like an overpriced Fiery War Axe in the worst case, so I'll take it there. Will I take another Deadly Poison? No, I do need some 3-drops. I will take the Farseer here because it's good for rogues, the healing, and it's just such an excellent 3-drop overall. Sen'jin is definitely something I want. Taunt is great. Here, I don't like Master of Disguise too much, and I've already kind of got a lot of 4-drops. So we'll just take the Injured Blade Master because he's a really, really solid 3-drop. Oh, this pack sucks. See, here, like, all those Deadly Poisons pass, Saps, Assassinates, Flesh-Eating Ghoul. There's so many cards I pass that are better than everything here. I'm going to take the one playable card, which is Ogre Magi, but not be that thrilled about it. Okay, I am starting to be a little bit light on removal. We're more than halfway done. Still have not seen a single Backstab or Eviscerate, which is a bit scary. Betrayal's not my favorite removal spell, but I want to make sure I have something to kill things with, or else I'll lose. Ugh. Well, do I take another Assassin's Blade? The problem is these last for so long. If you draw them both, it's a dead card. But I don't really want to take another 4-drop. Sprint could help me in the end game, but I've also seen rogues just play Sprint and lose. I'll take another Blade, but I'm not that thrilled about it. Alright, we need some big stuff here. This guy's removal and stuff, but I need like big stuff like Sunwalker. Spiteful Smith, extremely good for rogues. I do need more 3-drops. I've just got, well, I've got 3. So another one wouldn't be amiss. Yeah, I'm going to take the Smith. Make sure we have some endgame. Wow, that's so bad. I can't believe how bad that is. Oh my god, that's like the worst rare pack I think I've ever seen. Well, this is the only thing that could possibly be useful, but I'm pretty much hoping never to draw any of them. Shattered Sun Cleric is great. I do need 3-drops. The Panda could be good. What do I have to combo with the Panda? Bloodsail Corsair! No. Actually, this is an interesting combo. This is good. Not so much this or this, but this could be good. Defender of Argus could be good. Not so much any of that stuff. Am I having too many 5-drops? Well, these are weapons. This is a Smith. We'll take the Tiger. I like that card a lot. We'll take another. We'll take an Acolyte. Excuse me. Dark Iron Dwarf over another Spiteful Smith, I think, is fine. I don't want another Assassin's Blade. Shadow Step has not been very good for me. I guess we're taking an Owl and grumbling about it. Oh, finally. Okay, so there's the first Eviscerate. Am I gonna get a Backstab here? One more chance for backstab. Nope. Okay, well, I don't think that turned out very well. Last time I said I didn't think a deck turned out well. It ended up turning out super well, no spoilers. But this, boy, I really don't like this deck. I mean, first of all, we have some trash cards here. Second of all, no backstab and just one eviscerate, so the rogue's usual advantage of being able to dominate the early game is pretty much non-existent here. And I got way too many 2-drops. I did pick a Knife Juggler over a Cobra at the end there because I think the Knife Juggler works really well with the Defias Ringleader. Overall, this is just not looking good. Now, we're starting off with Love the Paladin, and I do like playing against Paladins as a rogue because, as I say every time, the dagger takes out 2 of his recruits. I'm, of course, first, which sucks. It makes a huge difference because if I could combo this out on turn 1, that would obviously be really great. As it is, I'm probably just going to play this on turn 2 bare naked, unless he gives me a reason to whip a dagger out. Yeah, don't hold these ringleaders. It's really not actually worth it to do that. Just play it. Yes, it'd be a lot better if you were coining it out and getting the combo, but it's still better to play it than not. So my opponent's just going to keep the board clear. That's fine. I'm going to make a pretty good drop. The Acolyte. Man, it sucks so much that I was first, because now I'm holding 1 fewer card, so the Twilight Drake is going to have 1 lower hit point next turn. So now the Acolyte stops him from playing recruits, because I can obviously just mop up the recruits and draw cards. It's going to coin something out, and is that going to be a Hammer of Wrath? It is. Okay, so he draws a card, I draw a card. I spent 3 mana, he spent 3 mana and a coin, so I guess I come out ahead in that exchange. And actually that makes my Twilight Drake a bit bigger because I drew the card off the Acolyte. Well, actually, this game might work out well because he did absolutely nothing to me in the early game, and then now I've actually got like all my end game right here. It's looking pretty good, especially if the Spiteful Smith can get enraged, turning into Fiery War Axe at all times. He's just trotting that out to die because he's got nothing better to do. That's good. So here's the question. I could either play the Blade, take this opportunity to put it into my hand, and then kill the warrior and swing for 6, or I can swing for 4, or I could just kill it with my Twilight Drake, and then play another creature. So would I rather have the Blade in my hand or another creature on the board? I would rather have another creature on the board because that creature is Spiteful Smith. So I could start doing some outrageous things. I mean, this becomes a 5/4. That's 20 damage in 1 weapon if the Spiteful Smith is enraged. Alright, he's going to give me a Mana Crystal, which I'm okay with. He's gonna. That was a pretty good turn for him. I have to admit, that was a pretty good turn. Okay, well, I think it is time to do this. Do that. Damage on the face is less valuable than damage on a creature. I will preserve the health of my Spiteful Smith, and we'll play Knife Juggler. Now, if he plays a True Silver Champion, I'll regret that I didn't damage this more by killing the Arcane Golem. But if I had killed the Arcane Golem with this, then this would be vulnerable to Consecration. So I feel like I made a right choice. Humility, I don't care about this. This guy's here to make my weapon a 5/3, so that's fine. Ventricle Mercenary. Well, it's a good play, but so is Sunwalker. He really wants a taunt right here. Otherwise, he can't play minions, and his Ventrico is just stupidly going to be attacking itself into the Sunwalker. Now, I'm not going to play this Bloodsail Corsair. I will wait to see if my opponent has a True Silver Champion. Hammer of Wrath. Well, that's interesting. So he draws a card, pops a Divine Shield. That's most of his mana for the turn. This thing does not die, so he can't do anything except make a recruit. I'd say that worked out fine. Okay, Dark Iron Dwarf would let me trade my Smith into the Ventrico, but I don't really want to do that. Let's see if I can get a lucky Knife Fling. Or a couple of lucky Knife Flings. We'll do this. See where the knife goes. Recruit, that's totally fine. See, I can only play 1 of these creatures anyway, so I might as well just play the biggest one. Okay. Well, I'd say the Knife Juggler has done his job. The question is, do I leave this alive? And the answer is yes. I will race all the way. All the way to the bank. He's threatened with death right now, and I can't play minions unless he trades away this Ventrico. I'm obviously way too high of a life total to die, but I've got this Dark Iron Dwarf and the Shattered Sun Cleric to buff my Tiger. He's going to leave the Ventrico alive. Well, I hope he's got some kind of a plan, because he's dead on the board now, and his minions all cost an extra 3 mana. I mean, this is, even without any of this stuff, this is 9, 12, 15 damage. Well, this isn't going to do anything. I think my opponent, I don't know if he misplayed. He might have just been lost regardless, but I mean, the play he made guaranteed that he would die. I think he probably should have used the Ventrico to kill my hardest hitting creature. That would let his minions be cheaper, and maybe he could have played more stuff out. But maybe he just had nothing in his hand. Who knows? Who knows? So that was a really smashing win, but my opponent, first of all, made some sketchy decisions. And second of all, he either drafted badly or had a really bad draw. We had no consecrations, no True Silver Champions, and he had just nothing going on. I mean, he played a Bluegill Warrior, but all that did was kill my Defias Ringleader. Then he did, like, nothing on turn 3. Yeah, then I played the Acolyte, then on turn 3 he killed it, but didn't do anything else. And then I just dropped big creatures and won. He just had nothing. I overran him with my big stuff. So I don't think that was necessarily a true display of this deck's skill, because my opponent just had a very bad draw. Up against a Warrior, I would say Warriors are not a good matchup for Rogues, because they armor up and heal faster than you can dagger them down, and they are also, like you, good with removal, except unlike you, they can heal themselves after hitting stuff with weapons. So I'd say Warriors are generally favorable against Rogues, at least in the arena. I've got 2 Defias Ringleaders in this deck, and obviously I see neither one. I do see some removal spells that are unlikely to be useful anytime soon, so this is, I would say, a very bad opening hand. I mean, I mulliganed everything, I did my best. It just wasn't to be. Now, the one good news in all of this is that I'm second, so at least I can coin the Blade Master and then buff it with the Shattered Sun Cleric. However, this could very easily die to a Fiery War Axe, and also it comes pre-built with damage, so it might die to an Execute. For that reason, should I play a Flesh-Eating Ghoul instead? No. We'll go for this. They both died of Fiery War Axe. I'm not going to play around Execute. I like the higher attack on this. Well, that happens. So now what? Crap. I mean, the Flesh-Eating Ghoul would have been just as screwed. I could sap this to buy time. Then next turn, I could dagger up, whack the Scarlet Crusader if it gets replayed, and Blade Flurry to kill it. I could Shattered Sun Cleric, and this guy becomes 4 health. Then I could just run by. Then the Scarlet Crusader can kill my Shattered Sun Cleric. Next turn I'd have to dagger up, and that leaves me with nothing. So I'm actually going to try this out. We'll see if this is a good move or not. It's going down a card for tempo. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I do have an extra card for being the second player, so I spent it for a bit of tempo. That seems alright. If I could just survive to the Sunwalker, or even to the Assassin's Blade, perhaps, might be in decent shape. And the thing is, he might actually have a better play. He might like play a Chillwind Yeti. That I'm fine with. That I play Shattered Sun Cleric, buff this. No, not a chance. He's going to replay the Scarlet Crusader. Okay. Let's see. I can play the Shattered Sun Cleric, you gotta let it die, yada yada. Or dagger up Blade Flurry to kill this. Let's do the dagger and Blade Flurry. So I'm basically spending my entire turn to kill that Scarlet Crusader. But I didn't go down a card. I spent a card to kill the Scarlet Crusader. And I'm just biding time until I can play Sunwalker, which is a little bit difficult for Warriors to deal with. The Warriors are not the greatest at killing these guys off. They'd need like Slam and Arcanite Reaper or something to do it effectively. But it's very tricky. Or Whirlwind Arcanite Reaper, who knows. Now, last turn for 4 mana, he played Scarlet Crusader. If he had an Execute, he would have used it, so I know he doesn't have Execute if it was not top-decked. Next turn is going to be awkward. I can't play both my creatures, sadly. I'll be a mana short. I can dagger up and play 1. But there are some things you could do here that would be very annoying for me to deal with. Like a Fen Creeper, for example, would be obnoxious. I'd have to like make the Assassin's Blade and then trade in my creature and use the blade to kill it. Well, he's thinking a lot, so maybe he doesn't have anything good. That's always something I can hope for. If he plays like an Arcanite Reaper here, though, I'm just in bad shape. The Assassin's Blade, you don't really want to swing it at a Warrior when he's at high health, because he can armor up and cancel out most of the damage that it deals. I mean, that's the price you pay for the Warrior's hero ability not impacting the board, is that healing them up is hard. Cobra. Well, that's interesting. So I've got a couple of options here. One option, I have more options now. One option is I can just make Assassin's Blade and kill it on the principle that you should always put this in your hand if you have an opportunity. Another option is I can play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, swing for 4, and play Conceal, hide my creatures. And then next turn play Sunwalker. Then if he has a way to pop the Divine Shield, the Cobra still has to kill the Sunwalker. If he doesn't have a way to pop Divine Shield, this is awesome against the Cobra. Well, I don't really want to bank against a warrior not having a way to pop Divine Shield. That doesn't seem that good. I could play a Flesh-Eating Ghoul and then just trade these, have the Flesh-Eating Ghoul grow big, but I like this plan. So I get some card advantage back. I have a weapon in my hand, so I can start killing things now without having to spend mana. 6 mana is a very good turn for me. Sunwalker is good, or if applicable, Shattered Sun Cleric plus Flesh-Eating Ghoul could also be good. Ah, he's finally going to kill my creature. Commanding Shout. Oh, that's annoying. Well, God, you know what? I might have to just accept that that is a good card, because it has been good way too many times against me now. Man. Okay, we'll do Flesh-Eating Ghoul and Shattered Sun Cleric. It's generally not the sexiest to buff things on your turn. However, I think it was justified here because it puts more total power and toughness on the board and uses up my mana quite effectively. Next turn I can, like, say, play Sunwalker, swing with these, and conceal. If he does not kill my minions, which is unlikely for him with 7 mana and 7 cards to not kill them, but if he doesn't and plays his own, the Sea Giant becomes playable. Ah, another one. Do you have another Commanding Shout, you motherfucker? Okay, thank goodness. At least that is not happening. It's going to kill off my Ghoul, and the Frothing Berserker gets big. And I cannot play the Sea Giant. All these are things that I don't like. However, I can do Sunwalker. And I can just ignore that Berserker. And since I just drew another Assassin's Blade, I will, of course, just hit him in the face with the one I already have. Do I play Conceal here? It lets the Frothing Berserker hit me. But it protects my interests. I will play Conceal here. I mean, if you're going to have it, might as well use it. So I am a little bit... I mean, it's a little bit scary to go below 20 health against a warrior, especially if he has, like, a Whirlwind here. He'll swing for a lot of damage. He could, in theory, with enough Whirlwinds, he could actually wombo combo me to death. But hopefully that doesn't happen, and hopefully I could just play a Sea Giant next turn and just kill this off with my Sunwalker. Sunwalker is very good against Frothing Berserker, that is a fact. I didn't have to play Conceal, I could have held on against the Sunwalker. The thing is, I just didn't want to open myself up to, you know, slam Arcanite Reaper or slam Shattered Sun Cleric or whatever. He's also got a Flesh-Eating Ghoul and a Vengeful Mercenary. Oh my gosh, he's got a pretty strong hand here. I could be in some trouble. Luckily, I got Sea Giant here. So let's think about this. Can I win, first of all? I got 7 plus 3 is 10. I can't win. Feel a little bit uncomfortable racing against this board. I mean, these are all high-quality creatures, so I think I should probably kill some of them off. I do want to play Sea Giant. Can I play the Yeti and Sea Giant? Yes, I can. So always look at variable mana cost. It looks like I can't play them both, but actually I can, because after I play the Yeti, the Sea Giant gets cheaper. So I'll play the Sea Giant. And then I'll think. So I could kill the Flesh-Eating Ghoul with my Blade to be super safe. And that is, I think, what I will do. I feel like that's worth 2 damage to the face. Don't care about the Frothing Berserker getting buffed, because, of course, the Divine Shield is good. I'm going to swing for 3. So what's happening here is he can't play minions because the Vengeful Mercenary is making them much more expensive. He cannot kill himself because the Sunwalker does not deal enough damage, unless he has Silence for the Sunwalker, but Silence in a warrior would come in the form of a creature, and those are more expensive. So he's going to kill the Sunwalker. Now his stuff is more expensive, and I'm threatening the kill with my stuff. He needs Taunt, but everything he plays is an extra 3 mana. So this Vengeful Mercenary, someone posted on my comments a while back that they thought this was not a very good card. And I defended it. I said, no, it's good. It's really good. And I might actually have to recant that. It does appear that on a lot of cases, this card really screws people over. The thing is that it's great if your opponent goes all the way, bends over backwards to kill it. But it's actually really bad if your opponent just kind of ignores it or leaves it on your board when they have a superior position. So, I don't know. I would say that it's still good if your deck has a very low curve, but if there are things that you want to play after you play your Vengeful Mercenary, it does kind of screw you up. Like if you have a lot of 6-drops and Sea Giants and things like that. I do tend to like to play decks with a little bit more mid-game to end-game beef, as you can see here. And the Vengeful Mercenary screws that up. So I apologize to the commenter against whom I argued. I'm coming around to your point of view, sir, or madam. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. The rest of the games are going to be posted soon. Once again, I have 2 crushing wins after saying I think my deck sucks. I still don't think this deck is all that great, just because it doesn't have that much of the rogue removal, and it has some real junk in it. And I feel like if I go up against a deck who just gets a good draw and plays things on turn 1 and 2, I'll just lose. So we'll see who's right, if it's me or if I'm wrong again. I'll see you in a bit.